The intense heat wave continues with an extreme heat warning in effect. I'll let you know when the heat wave will finally end coming up.
I've thought on it and prayed about it, and I've decided I want to serve as your next United States Senator. Because even now, I still believe our best days are ahead of us.
Candidate Cooper, North Carolina's former governor, officially announced his campaign for the U.S. seat being vacated by Senator Thom Tillis.
Breaking news, a water main break could put a damper on your lunch plans, the area you will need to avoid as crews make repairs.
You know, that water might look refreshing, but even Carolina Beach right here, as you see on your screen, experiencing highs near 90 degrees. Oh boy, UV index is 10 out of 11, meaning there is a high risk of some sun damage. Today is a WRAL Weather Alert Day. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Chris. Let me get in for Jeff Hogan.
And I'm Renee Chu. Thanks for joining us. The heat index is already in the triple digits in our southern communities, and it is climbing up here in the Triangle. Meteorologist Kat Campbell is in the WRAL Severe Weather Center with a look at how it's feeling across the area.
And we've got almost an entire work week left to go of this heat wave. It'll finally end by the time we get to Friday and the weekend. In the meantime, we have an extreme heat warning in effect for the Triangle. Points to the south today in pink. Areas to the north like Person County, Granville, Vance, up into Mecklenburg County are under a heat advisory. And that heat advisory will replace the extreme heat warning for tomorrow. Currently, the temperatures reach 90 at RDU, 93 in Fayetteville, but the number on the right, that's the heat index. It's already up to 102 in Southern Pines, 104 in Fayetteville, and 106 in Clinton. It is just lunchtime. We still have hours for these numbers to climb. Today's high, 98 in Raleigh, 97 Durham, 95 in Rocky Mount, and 93 in Roanoke Rapids. Just to the south, we're looking at highs reaching 100 in Fayetteville, 99 in Rayford, 98 in Smithfield and Sanford. It is just going to be a sizzling hot day out there. If you're trying to beat the heat at the pool, storm chances are just 20% during the early afternoon. Once we get to the evening after the 5 o'clock commute, we'll have about a 30% chance of a storm. But storms today, bottom line, should be more isolated than yesterday. And while yesterday we had some severe storms, we're not included in the level 1 severe weather threat today. The next big system that we are tracking is a cold front, and it finally gets here, knocking down both temperatures and humidity. But there will be changes before it gets here. I'll have a closer look at it coming up.
That sounds good to me. Thank you, Kat. And folks, you can track the rising temperatures with the newly redesigned WRAL Weather app. It is free to download from your phone's app store, but make sure you turn on push notifications to get important weather alerts sent right to your home screen.
Former Governor Roy Cooper has officially announced he is running for the state's open U.S. Senate seat next year. He released an announcement via video this morning. Republican groups have already launched several negative ads. WRAL Capitol Bureau Chief Laura Leslie is live at the state Democratic Party headquarters in downtown Raleigh following this story. Laura.
Cooper's expected run for the U.S. Senate has been a talk of political circles here for months now, really ever since he left the governor's mansion last December. It's expected to be one of the most closely watched races in the country. Republicans released their first round of negative ads against him before he even made it official, signaling they know this is going to be a tough race. Democrats are trying to take back control of the U.S. Senate. To do that, they'll have to pick up 4 seats. And they see this one, North Carolina's, as a strong possibility, especially after two-term Republican incumbent Thom Tillis bowed out after refusing to support President Trump's budget cuts. Cooper has won 6 statewide races, 4 for AG and 2 for governor, and he's seen as a strong contender with good name recognition. His announcement video signals he's going to be leaning hard into economic issues like the rising cost of living and income inequality.
Politicians in D.C. are running up our debt, ripping away our health care, disrespecting our veterans, cutting health for the poor, and even putting Medicare and Social Security at risk just to give tax breaks to billionaires.
Cooper vetoed a bill to protect girls' sports, vetoed a bill to ban gender transition surgeries for minors, puberty blockers, double mastectomies, mutilating children. Cooper stood with the woke left, endangering our kids.
Republican groups like the Senate Leadership Fund there appear to be banking on the same anti-transgender messaging that worked well for the GOP in 2024. Their presumptive frontrunner is Michael Whatley, the former state chair and current national chair of the Republican Party. Whatley has not yet officially announced his candidacy, but he has already been endorsed by President Trump. He has never run for political office before, but is a longtime political operative. Laura Leslie, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
Reaction is pouring in from both parties in the state, including this from Congresswoman Deborah Ross, which reads in part, Roy will hold Donald Trump and his Republican allies accountable for their attacks on our state and its people. He will fight hard every day for more opportunity, better health care, and a brighter future for every North Carolinian. Ross goes on to say she looks forward to doing everything she can to help Cooper win in November.
I'm Laura Levine here in the WRAL Live Center, and Republican organizations didn't waste any time rolling out the ads targeting former Governor Roy Cooper here. This is from the National Republican Senatorial Committee. This particular ad attacks Cooper's time as governor, from his handling on taxes, the economy, and violent crime in the state. The ad also targets his response to Hurricane Helene relief efforts during the immediate aftermath of that storm. We know that this is just the beginning, as we're also waiting for more people to put their name in the hat for this race, a race that is just beginning to heat up. We're going to continue to follow the reactions here in the WRAL Live Center.
Be watching that closely. Thank you, Laura. Apex police are putting out an alert for residents to be more vigilant when walking at the Apex Community Lake Park. Police say a woman reported she felt a man with a knife was following her. Let's go ahead and bring in WRAL's Sean Gallagher for this. Sean, how do people feel about this at the park who you've spoken with?
Yeah, Chris, this is a very active park. Already this morning, we have seen people that are using this 2-mile stretch to just walk around, exercise, get some fresh air. But all of them tell me that this news is really surprising to them, that there was nothing that happened in this incident, but the mere thought that it caused an alert by the police department is why they're so confused about it now. Now, Apex police say around 12:30 Friday afternoon, a woman was walking here when she heard a man say something she didn't understand, and she says it made her feel uncomfortable. She told police she walked away from the man but felt he was following her, and she believed he had a knife. Now, the incident didn't escalate any further, but a Good Samaritan escorted the woman to her car, but that suspicious man is yet to be identified. But it's the news of this incident that comes as a surprise to the people who frequent this trail.
There's nobody or nothing that has made me feel unsafe here, definitely.
Everybody's really nice, and it's not overpopulated, so it's not a lot of people at one time.
And police say the man was wearing a T-shirt with white lettering on the sleeves, black sweatpants, and was wearing a COVID-style mask. But again, he has yet to be been identified at this point. Now, nothing has happened related to this incident as of now, but Apex police are using this as an opportunity to urge people to always be aware of your surroundings, no matter where you are. In Apex, Sean Gallagher, WRAL News.
I'm going to give it to some breaking news that we're following this noon. Traffic is closed in part of Village District in Raleigh because of a water main break, and this could have a big impact on the lunch crowd. This is happening along Cameron Street between Daniel Street and Woodburn Road. Raleigh police ask people to avoid that area while they're repairing the water main, the teams out there, that is. The city of Raleigh says no businesses or customers should be experiencing any water outages or service disruptions. We're working to learn what time that road will reopen, and as soon as we do, we'll report it here on WRAL News.
That is a good-sized sinkhole. President Trump met with British Prime Minister Keir Starmer in Scotland this morning. The two leaders discussed a trade deal and the current situation with the war in Gaza. Today's meeting at the president's Gulf Resort in Scotland comes a day after he announced a trade agreement with the European Union that would set tariffs at 15%. President Trump says the EU will not impose tariffs on American imports and will purchase $750 billion worth of American energy. Help is on the way to thousands of people in Gaza. Jordan and the United Arab Emirates dropped tons of desperately needed aid boxes along the Strip. Agencies, though, say the airdrops won't be enough to meet Gaza's needs. In the past, Israel has claimed Hamas steals the aid, a charge aid agencies deny. The State Department has found no evidence of Hamas systematically stealing aid.
Getting a look at your stocks this afternoon there to see how the Dow is doing. Looks like it's up about 40 points there. Investors reacting to President Donald Trump's announcement regarding that trade deal with the European Union and speaking with the UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer. We'll be watching very closely to see how things escalate, and even in the day when the market day ends for us here in several hours. Some student loan borrowers could owe taxes on the forgiven amount. Provisions making student loan forgiveness amounts tax-free at the federal level expire at the end of the year. President Trump's new spending act does not extend them. And without action from Congress, student loan borrowers could face a federal tax bill again starting next year. And specifically, I'm referring to students who get their debt forgiven under the Department of Education's income-driven repayment plan.
11 people stabbed. New witness accounts after police say this man attacked Walmart shoppers in Michigan.
Tar Heel to the stars. UNC Chapel Hill graduate Zena Cardman will fly to the International Space Station. A preview of what she and others will be up to there.
Pay attention to air pollution, why children are especially sensitive to it, and what parents can do to help protect them.
Coming up next, sea storms moving in with WRAL's exclusive Dual Doppler 5000, sponsored by the WRAL Weather app. Download now for live radar.
We're hearing from some shoppers who were in a Michigan Walmart when a man went on a stabbing spree there.
One shopper described blood-curdling screams as she watched the victim stab a victim in the produce section. NBC's Maggie Vespa reports that the suspect may face a terrorism charge after injuring 11 in the apparent random attack.
From the suspect and his alleged weapon to the Good Samaritans investigators say helped stop the violence.
Throw the knife that way! Throw it away!
This morning, Michigan authorities painting a clearer picture of Saturday's horrific attack at this Traverse City Walmart. 42-year-old Bradford James Gilley is facing 11 counts of assault with intent to murder and 1 count of terrorism for authorities say stabbing 10 shoppers and 1 store employee in a random attack. The sheriff releasing this photo of the folding knife he allegedly used, adding they don't know why Gilley, who lives nearly 2 hours away, was in Traverse City. His motive? A mystery.
Very, very few words spoken. I believe he was aware of what he was doing.
The local hospital saying the victims range in age from 29 to 84. This morning, 2 remain in serious condition, but thankfully all are expected to survive. Investigators confirming a group of Good Samaritans, including one apparently armed with a pistol, cornered Gilley in the parking lot. That's Michael Miller there in the purple.
My first thought was get this guy out of here, stop him.
Moments earlier in the store, Miller's fiancée, Julia, says Gilley lunged at her and her daughters.
I really just kind of snatched them all and got behind the case of bread, and I think he knew that there was someone right behind him and he just wanted out.
You used the bread rack?
Yeah.
To block him?
Yeah.
Miller and others chased him outside, holding him until a deputy arrived.
Yeah, it's nice to see that there's that many people willing
to help.
Yep.
Even
it should be that way.
The sheriff saying their actions saved lives.
That crowd of citizens, heroes in your mind?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And they're willing to put themselves in harm's way to try and stop the assailant. Unbelievable.
That was Maggie Vespa reporting. The Illinois man who is serving a 53-year prison sentence for fatally stabbing a 6-year-old Palestinian boy and injuring his mother has died in prison. The sheriff's office confirmed Joseph Shuba died but did not release his cause of death. The brutal murder of Wadi Al-Fayumi shocked the nation in the days after the October 7th Hamas attack inside Israel. Investigators say Shuba stabbed Wadi and his mother dozens of times because they were Muslim.
I'm Laura Levine here in the WRAL Live Center. We have an update to a very serious crash that happened early this morning. Let's get right to that Sky 5 video. This is of High House Road near Cary Parkway. We know that the crash happened around 10:45 this morning, and officials and authorities say that the driver of a Honda SUV failed to yield the right-of-way and pulled out in front of the motorcycle, resulting in the crash. The person on the motorcycle was taken to the hospital, but right now the extent of their injuries are unknown. Right now we're also working to learn more on the condition of that driver of the SUV, but officials right now saying that that person will likely face charges.
All right, thank you for that update, Laura. More North Carolinians are ending up in the emergency room with a sickness tied to cannabis use. Let's go ahead and bring in WRAL health reporter Grace Haba. She joins us now. Grace, this condition, it's not new, but doctors are saying they're seeing more cases of it.
That's exactly right, Chris. It's called cannabinoid hyperemesis syndrome, or CHS. Doctors in the emergency room at Duke Regional Hospital say they now actually see patients sick with CHS every single week. The symptoms can be hard to differentiate from other conditions at first because it mainly causes nausea and vomiting. One woman in Apex says she had never heard of CHS until the THC gummies she was taking landed her in the ER.
When I was at the hospital, they didn't know what was wrong either. But I told them, I said, I'm not feeling any pain relief. Maybe it's because I got this tolerance to the gummies I've been taking. And they said, wait a minute, what? That's when everything changed. They said, you might have cannabinoid hyperemesis syndrome.
Doctors say CHS is mainly seen in people who use cannabis products daily.
Are doctors seeing a certain group getting sicker than others in this regard?
That's a good question. It's a little bit of a puzzling one, Chris. You just heard from Jill Fuller. She's actually in her late 50s, but doctors tell me they mainly see this impact young males the most, particularly those who are teenage years or those in their 20s.
Well, it sounds like an interesting condition and a lot more to discuss. Tonight on WRAL at 6, Grace will continue to dive deeper into the mystery surrounding CHS, including why the condition left many patients without answers for years. Thank you, Grace.
Thousands of NASA employees are leaving the agency as part of a second round of deferred resignations. The Trump administration first offered deferred buyouts back in January in order to trim the federal workforce. Some NASA employees have expressed concerns over those cuts, saying they jeopardize safety, risk national security, and weaken NASA's core mission. Meanwhile, a UNC alum is scheduled to fly to the International Space Station on Thursday. Zena Cardman is part of the 4-person team who arrived at the Kennedy Space Center over the weekend. And while in orbit, they will perform research, technology demonstrations, and maintenance activities. The crew will also contribute to the Artemis campaign by simulating moon landing scenarios. Well, you definitely have a heat scenario going on, Kat, and I couldn't help but notice here in this live look at Fenton, not a single person sitting in those chairs out on the lawn. It's too hot.
Too hot. In direct sunlight? Absolutely not today.
That's smart.
It was scorching hot this weekend. Really, it hasn't changed at all today, unfortunately. We have another extreme heat warning in place. Our heat index expected to soar past 105 today, potentially approaching 110 this afternoon. 98 is our forecast high in Raleigh, 97 in Cary and Garner, as well as Fuquay Varina, Wake Forest, Apex, Holly Springs. We're forecasting 96 today, 95 in Rollsville. Bottom line, it is hot. No matter where you are not escaping the heat. Storm chances about 30%. That would come this evening into early tonight. They should be more isolated than yesterday, and I wouldn't expect as many severe thunderstorm warnings. We're not under that risk today. We'll keep the 30% chance of an isolated storm in place through Wednesday. So definitely keep watering this week, especially if you have plants that are more sensitive, like hydrangeas, anything like that. Once we get to Thursday and Friday, we do actually have some decent rain and storm chances on the way, and that comes with a glorious cold front in the forecast. Up until then, though, we're going to have to watch for the rain that comes with the front. Today, tomorrow, a low risk for localized flooding. There could be heavy rain and any isolated storms that form. But by Thursday and Friday, we go up to a medium flood threat, and that comes with those better storm chances on the way ahead of our front. So let's track our next weather maker. Today, it's just your typical summertime pop-up thunderstorms. Tomorrow, again, the greatest concentration should be to our south. It would be more isolated storms here locally. Through Wednesday, you can see much of the same. But by Thursday, here comes the front, and this is going to start to nudge up our storm chances into Friday with this front right overhead. We'll still have a decent chance for rain and storms on Friday. But look at the temperature difference we have on the horizon, mid to upper 90s in the forecast for 4 more days if you count today, since we still haven't even reached the mid-90s yet. We've got a couple hours to go. By Friday and Saturday, high temperatures back off into the mid-80s, and there is the chance that we could see a little dip in some of our temperatures and humidity. It looks like the contours from the Climate Prediction Center aren't coming in, but the bottom line here is we are expecting long range into early next week, below normal temperatures. That will come with above normal rainfall chances, though. 3 more WRAL weather alert days to go at least Thursday. We could need to issue one if there was a heat advisory issued, and we're going to be kind of right along that border there for a heat advisory. We've also got the threat for storms ramping up to 60% on Friday. But check out these highs and lows by the weekend. Highs are in the mid-80s, lows are in the mid to upper 60s. That gives us a treat at the end of this heat wave to look forward to.
Oh, we have earned those 80s for sure. Kat, thank you. Tabulating the tariffs. How much will President Trump's tariffs help America's bottom line? Today on WRAL News at 4, our PolitiFact team checks a statement about the national deficit.
And lawsuit filed. A local learning academy is being sued. What it says happened inside the classroom that led to one student getting hurt. New rules for tax deductions. The key changes that could limit how much you can deduct.
Sleep safety. Consumer Reports sounds the alarm about a bassinet. Why parents should avoid adding it to their carts.
Testing shows serious safety concerns with a popular baby product still on the market. 5 on your side's Keely Arthur shows us the problem Consumer Reports discovered.
Okay, the safest sleep setup for infants is a flat, firm surface with no pillows, blankets, bumpers, or inclines. So when online reviews and incident reports claimed the Halo Bassinest Flex portable bassinet tilted dangerously to one side, Consumer Reports tested it out. The results confirmed what parents were seeing. When a weight is placed inside the bassinet, the sleep surface is not flat.
A bassinet that tilts can be dangerous if a baby rolls into a corner or ends up face down.
The Halo Bassinest Flex portable bassinet has not been recalled. And the company told Consumer Reports it stands by the safety of its product and does not intend to recall it. If you are in search of a top-rated and safe bassinet for your baby, Consumer Reports has a full list of ones they test themselves. We have links to their top-rated products on our website. Keely Arthur, 5 on your side.
Starting next year, how you donate will affect your tax break deductions. Standard deduction filers can write off up to $1,000 in cash gifts, $2,000 for joint filers. That's double the old pandemic era limit. Non-cash gifts like clothes or food will face stricter limits. The new tax rules are set to take effect in 2026. Some Americans face big cuts to Social Security benefits. Analysts predict that dual income couples could see $18,000 less per year if they retire in 2033. A typical single earner couple could face a cut of more than $13,000. The estimated 24% drop is due to a projected depletion of Social Security's old age and survivors insurance trust fund. Once that fund is depleted, the recently enacted big bill dictates that Social Security benefits will no longer be paid at the full rate.
Time is 12:26. Air quality alerts. Doctors are urging you to not ignore them. At 12:30, hear what you should watch for to keep your children safe.
And Cooper campaign announcement. The former governor is running for a seat in the U.S. Senate. Why he says he's choosing 2026 to run. And here's a look at your winning lottery numbers. An extreme heat warning is in effect today. Dangerous heat remains for the next few days.
And meteorologist Kat Campbell is in the WRAL Severe Weather Center with a look at a cooler weekend that's on the way, Kat.
Can't wait. It's another day of creative indoor plans today, especially for the kids who are dealing with another day stuck inside in this heat wave. 90 degrees in the Triangle for the lunch hour. 97 is the heat index. 93 in Fayetteville with a heat index of 104. And check out Clinton, 92, but the heat index there, 108. We're likely to see our heat index climb into the triple digits throughout the afternoon in the Triangle, reaching above 105. Some areas could near 110 at times this afternoon. The extreme heat warning is for all of the Triangle points south, the areas in pink. The heat advisory, which is a tier down in severity, is in place in our northern counties. That goes through 8 p.m. today, and tomorrow there is a heat advisory from the Triangle points south and west. This is a tier down in severity. It's still going to be hot, and because heat risk is cumulative, since we've had days of these heat risks, just keep that in mind. Still, it's going to be hot. The heat index forecast tomorrow, 106 in Fayetteville, 102 in Rocky Mount, 104 in Goldsboro. On Wednesday, it could be even higher than that, reaching 107 in Raleigh and Durham, 102 in Southern Pines, 106 in Goldsboro. Sizzling hot weather continues for our area today as highs reach the mid to upper 90s. But there is relief in sight, some 80s on the horizon and even 60s for lows. I'm tracking that cold front coming up.
All right, thank you, Kat. And you hear her say that. And now we have to mention that local hospitals are seeing an increase in heat-related illnesses because of the intense heat that we're getting. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey explains what signs that you should be looking for.
We spoke with the head of the emergency department here at UNC Rex about how heat can impact your health. Heat is the #1 weather-related killer in the country. You just heard that the heat index could reach 115 degrees today, and we are under another extreme heat warning. You have to protect yourself from these dangerously high temperatures. Here are some of the signs of heat stroke: confusion, dizziness, and passing out. If you or someone you love is experiencing any of those symptoms, call 911. Dr. Ryan Lamb with UNC Rex says children and older adults can be more at risk for heat stroke. He explains what to watch out for.
So it's trying to pay attention for those clues that people, maybe they seem like they have less energy. They're, changing in their sweating habits. They're less active. They look nauseated. Real bright red to their skin.
People who have pre-existing conditions like diabetes and COPD are more at risk for heat stroke. Dr. Lamb says the hospital sees the most cases of those heat-related illnesses in people who have some type of pre-existing condition. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News in Raleigh.
Air quality alerts are common in the summer, especially on days like today. They might be easy to overlook, but doctors say it is something parents should keep in mind. The Air Quality Index shows how polluted the air is. It uses a color-coded system where green means the air is good, all the way up to maroon, which signals hazardous conditions. Doctors say parents need to keep an eye on that index and limit time outdoors when it reaches orange or higher. Children are particularly sensitive to air pollution for these reasons.
First, because their organs are developing. And the second is that because they breathe faster, so they can expose to the fine particles more than adults. And then could you imagine the kids who have some underlying disease like asthma or heart disease, they are even more sensitive.
It's also important for adults to limit their time outdoors when air quality is poor, especially those who are older and those with chronic health conditions. You can track how hot it is and how hot it feels with the newly redesigned WRAL weather app. It's free to download from your phone's app store. Make sure to turn on push notifications so you can get important weather alerts sent right to your home screen.
Former Governor Roy Cooper made it official. He is running for the U.S. Senate.
And the decisions we make in the next election will determine if we even have a middle class in America anymore. I never really wanted to go to Washington. I just wanted to serve the people of North Carolina right here where I've lived all my life. But these are not ordinary times.
In the last 40 years, only 3 Democrats, Terry Sanford, John Edwards, and Kay Hagan, have represented North Carolina in the U.S. Senate. And lawmakers in Raleigh are bracing for a veto showdown. Republicans in both chambers are looking to override at least some of Governor Josh Stein's vetoes. Stein has vetoed 14 bills while in office, and lawmakers are expected to vote on overrides tomorrow.
Happening now here in the WRAL Live Center, we are following breaking news. Several people were hurt in a shooting when shots rang out at a very popular resort and casino in Las Vegas, Nevada. This is a look at the scene from the Grand Sierra Resort. We know that Reno police responded to the scene of an active shooter around 7:30 this morning. That's when they found the suspect within 4 to 5 minutes, and officers then began to exchange gunfire with that suspect. The suspect was hurt, transported to a local hospital. Several other people were hurt, and several officers were hurt in the process of trying to take down this suspect. We know that the officers involved, they were not hurt from the shooting itself, but other matters at play. Right now, authorities are working to learn the motive from this shooting and more in regards to the number of people who were injured.
Laura, thank you. Highway Patrol says speeding was a factor in a crash that killed a 17-year-old driver. His car veered off Chalk Road near Wake Forest. Troopers say the car hit a ditch, then hit a tree. The driver, Jackson Brookhart, died. 2 others were injured. Troopers say 18-year-old Reese Campbell was in the front seat. Another 17-year-old was in the back, and they were both taken to the hospital. A neighbor we spoke with says he's not surprised the crash happened where it did.
As soon as they said what happened, I knew exactly where, because I know it's a dangerous curve in the road here. If they have no idea how the road, goes, they lose control of their vehicle, I would imagine.
We'll continue to update the conditions of the other victims as we learn more.
New numbers from the Durham County Sheriff's Office show violent crime was down in Durham the first 6 months of the year. And so far this year, a 26% decrease was reported in the top 8 crimes. That includes murder, sex offenses, and robberies. Last month, deputies recovered a total of 17 stolen vehicles across the county, and 69 guns were seized in the first 6 months of the year. 25 guns were reported stolen, and 17 guns were recovered or found.
Screen time overload, the whopping number of hours a day the average adult spends online. What we're doing that's eating up the majority of our waking hours.
And college versus skilled trade. The big factor pushing more high school grads toward job demand and security. Just a reminder, you can watch WRAL News live anytime on WRAL.com or the WRAL app on your streaming device.
You're looking live at White Lake, a beautiful view, but outside the temperatures are climbing and so is the heat index. Another heat alert here for us today as you watch WRAL News, available on Hulu and the WRAL app on your TV or streaming device.
According to telecommunications business Optimum, the average American adult spends more than 10 hours a day online. More than half of the participants in the survey said they use their television to stream shows or movies. I don't know why with this story I feel called out reading it. Nearly 80% say they use the web to browse or pay bills, and viewing social media and shopping were about even. And 20% use the internet to complete schoolwork. Fewer tourists are visiting Las Vegas, and that's affecting workers. Around 180,000 people in Las Vegas work for tips. However, some workers say the amount they're earning from tips has dropped. President Trump's big, beautiful bill was slated to give service workers up to a $25,000 exemption a year on tips that income came from personal taxes. Well, Las Vegas leadership says visits are down 6.5% and hotel occupancy is down nearly 20%.
Well, maybe an upcoming residency in Vegas can help turn around those numbers. Iconic rocker Lenny Kravitz is ready to light up Las Vegas. He's returning to Vegas for a high-voltage residency. Performances will include music from his latest album, Blue Electric Light, along with past favorites. The residency is described as 5 nights of funk, soul, and rock and roll.
We're ready to bring the energy, to bring the celebration of life, to amplify love. The concerts are all about this feeling of unity and celebrating each other, accepting each other, celebrating life.
The legendary singer plans to release a new album next year. Tickets are still available for his Blue Electric Light residency in Vegas.
AI revolution. The industry is expected to see even more growth, but also expected to replace jobs filled by college grads, the market they're now turning to for job security.
Plus, how an artist is taking her talent to new heights, the records she's setting along the way. A Wake County congregation is helping community members in need. The Lord of Life Lutheran Church in Garner had a Feed the Need event yesterday. Members went on a grocery store shopping spree to buy food for the Food Pantry of Hope.
We consider this part of worship. It's important because as church, we are not called to just sit in church for an hour on Sunday morning and feel good. Church is something that happens in the community. Church is making the world a better place to live. Church is loving God and loving neighbor.
After yesterday's service, each family was given $10 to buy items needed for the food pantry.
The rise of AI has many graduates rethinking whether to enroll in college or take another path. As Rebecca Castor reports, Gen Z is showing more interest in skilled trades.
President Donald Trump says the AI race is on.
From this day forward, it'll be a policy of the United States to do whatever it takes to lead the world in artificial intelligence.
But the advancing tech is already wiping out jobs, and today's young adults are unsure how it's going to impact their future careers.
I was going to school for IT, and I heard how AI was going to take the industry over.
At this nearly cost-free trade school in Washington, D.C., classes are full, and the program director credits that to what he calls the youth movement.
We had to open up 2 new classes offerings for Saturdays just to meet the need of the student that wants to pursue HVAC or electrics.
One national survey finds Gen Zers are pursuing trade jobs to earn income sooner, avoid student debt, and have long-term job security.
As of right now, we don't have a robot that's safely available to do some of the duties that we perform on a daily.
But AI isn't just replacing jobs, it's creating new ones. Someone's got to build all those massive data centers that will soon power the AI revolution.
They're going to create thousands of good-paying, skilled jobs. Steel workers, plumbers, pipe fitters, electricians.
But blue-collar advocate Mike Rowe warns there still needs to be a national push to reinvigorate the trades.
We got 7.5 million open positions right now that we can't fill, including 500,000 in manufacturing. I do think we've come to a mission-critical point regarding workforce.
That was Rebecca Castor reporting. And ultimately, if there are not enough skilled workers to fill essential jobs, AI won't be able to fill the gap.
An Arizona artist is taking her painting to new heights. Take a look at this brightly colored 230-foot tall mural located in downtown Phoenix. The artist says it took her 2 months to complete with the help of 2 assistants. They worked through the heat and a monsoon to finish the piece, starting from the top and working their way down. The trio completed the work by freehand. Her creativity expands far beyond murals. She also designs furniture, teaches art classes, and if that wasn't enough to keep her busy, she also DJs.
So last year, Kat, you probably don't remember this, but we were talking about which season is the best, and I said, no, I love summer. Summer's great. You said, no, it's fall. And after the weather we've been seeing, I'm going to agree with you on that. It's very hot.
Yes, we have one more coming over to the fall side of things. Next, you'll be begging for snow with me in the winter, right? Well, it has been the hottest summer to date on record. So a lot of people, I think, who really do like warm weather are getting a little tired of this heat wave. We're dealing with just relentless heat and humidity. And I've got to tell you, we're running over 4 degrees above normal. So record warmest summer to date. As for the rainfall, 22nd place. So we're not really on the leaderboard for rainfall, but we're running over 1.5 inches above normal. Typically during the month of July, we track cold fronts that come in and at least drop humidity a bit for us. We've really gone almost the entire month without any of those. So it's been a pretty exceptional summer around here and a lot of damage from flooding as well as severe weather. But Chapel Hill looking bright and beautiful today. No imminent threats there. It's just hot. 97, the heat index in Durham and Raleigh. 95 is what it feels like in Roxborough. 100 in South Hill. 99 in Lewisburg, Rocky Mount, and Wilson. It feels like 104 in Fayetteville, 102 in Smithfield, and Clinton over 110 now, 111. And we still have hours for that number to climb. It stays hot tomorrow, a little bit less hot tomorrow. Because of that, we'll have a heat advisory instead of an extreme heat warning. We're likely to have another Wednesday. The next 2 days are both WRAL weather alert days. Wouldn't be shocked if we had another heat advisory Thursday. The reason why we may not is because there will be more storms Thursday ahead of our welcome transition. Check this out, Friday and Saturday. Friday's still a bit humid, but Saturday 84, feeling like 85. I just can't wait for the weekend. I mean, you usually say that on a Monday, but with a forecast like this, a lot of people are really going to be excited. The heat dome is situated over the southeast right now, and it's going to stay over the southeast through the middle of the week. But by Thursday, notice how it's getting pushed a little farther to the south. We're going to start to see a dip in the jet stream up here take place, and that's going to shift that heat dome off to the west of us. So we're able to finally see a cold front push into North Carolina, dropping temperatures and even dropping humidity. However, that comes with a pretty decent chance of storms both Thursday and Friday as the cold front slowly works its way through our state. Both of those days, there is a medium risk for flooding, so we're going to have to keep an eye on that threat as we get closer to the end of the week. At least we've got relief in sight, but we've got a long ways to go before we get there. Extreme heat in the forecast for the next 3 days at least, and that comes with about a 30% chance of a pop-up afternoon storm each day. That chance goes up to 50% Thursday, 60% on Friday, and Saturday, there still could be an isolated storm. Remember, it's hard for fronts to work their way through this time of year, but lows could finally dip back in the 60s as well.
Oh, don't tease us. Oh, I would love the 60s. All right, iconic sneakers sold. The sneakers worn by Kobe Bryant during his first NBA career sold at auction there. We're going to tell you just how much the shoes sold for and the record they're making.
As we wrap things up, here's a look at a few of the headlines we're following today. Former Governor Roy Cooper has officially announced he's running for the state's open U.S. Senate seat next year. The video announcement came out this morning. Republican groups have already launched several negative ads. Michael Whatley is expected to run for the Republican nomination. He has not filed as candidate yet. However, President Trump has endorsed him.
Apex police want residents to be more vigilant when walking at the Apex Community Lake Park. Police say that a woman reported she felt a man with a knife was following her about 12:30 on Friday afternoon, but no one was hurt in that encounter. Police say the man was wearing a T-shirt with white on the sleeves, black sweatpants, and had a COVID-style mask on.
Traffic is still being impacted by a water main break in Raleigh's Village District. This is along Cameron Street between Daniel Street and Woodburn Road. City of Raleigh says no businesses or customers should be experiencing any water outages or service disruptions. When we learn a time frame of when the road will reopen, we'll let you know on air and online. The sneakers worn by Kobe Bryant during his first NBA start sold for a hefty amount. An autographed pair of Adidas EQT Top 10s sold for $240,000. It is the second largest sum ever paid for a pair of his sneakers. In his first start, Bryant scored 12 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, and a block in the team's win over the Dallas Mavericks. Bryant was 18 years old in that matchup and became the youngest player then to start an NBA game.
Bracing for bills. A combination of hot weather and higher rates means that some big bills this month. Well, coming up on WRAL News at 4, what you can do to keep your August bill down as much as possible.
NBC News Daily is next on WRAL, your next local news update in 30 minutes.
And of course, you can get breaking news updates anytime with our WRAL News app. We'll see you soon.
Keep watching WRAL News over the air Channel 34 and Spectrum Channel 1257.